Chapter 7 of Book 6 of Les Misérables, Volume 2. This is a LibriVox recording. All LibriVox recordings are in the public domain. For more information or to volunteer, please visit LibriVox.org. Recording by Paradise Camouflage. Les Misérables, Volume 2 by Victor Hugo. Translated by Isabel, Florence, HAPGOOD. Book 6, Le Petit Picpus. Chapter 7, Some Silhouettes of this Darkness. During the 6 years which separate 1819 from 1825, the prioress of the Petit Picpus was Mademoiselle de Blemeur, whose name in religion was Mother Innocente. She came of the family of Marguerite de Blemeur, author of Lives of the Saints of the Order of Saint Benoit. She had been re-elected. She was a woman about 60 years of age, short, thick, singing like a cracked pot, says the letter which we have already quoted. An excellent woman, moreover, and the only merry one in the whole convent, and for that reason adored. She was learned, erudite, wise, competent, curiously proficient in history, crammed with Latin, stuffed with Greek, full of Hebrew, and more of a Benedictine monk than a Benedictine nun. The sub-prioress was an old Spanish man, Mother Cineres, who was almost blind. The most esteemed among the vocal mothers was Mother Sainte Honorine, the treasurer, Mother Sainte Gertrude, the chief mistress of the novices, Mother Saint Ange, the assistant mistress, Mother Annonciation, the sacristan, Mother Saint Augustine, the nurse, the only one in the convent who was malicious, then Mother Sainte Mechtilde, Mademoiselle Gauvin, very young and with a beautiful voice, Mother des Anges, Mademoiselle Drouet, who had been in the convent of the Filles Dieu and in the convent du Trésor between Gisors and Magny, Mother Saint Joseph, Mademoiselle de Gogoludu, Mother Sainte Adelaide, Mademoiselle d'Auvernay, Mother Miséricorde, Mademoiselle de Cifuentes, who could not resist austerities, Mother Compassion, Mademoiselle de la Mitière, received at the age of 60 in defiance of the rule and very wealthy, Mother Providence, Mademoiselle de Laudonnière, Mother Presentation, Mademoiselle de Sigenza, who was prioress in 1847, and finally Mother Sainte Céline, sister of the sculptor Serac, who went mad, Mother Sainte Chantal, Mademoiselle de Suzanne, who went mad. There was also, among the prettiest of them, a charming girl of 23, who was from the Isle du Bourbon, a descendant of the Chevalier Rose, whose name had been Mademoiselle Rose, and who was called Mother Assumption. Mother Sainte Mechtilde, entrusted with the singing in the choir, was fond of making use of the pupils in this quarter. She usually took a complete scale of them, that is to say, 7, from 10 to 16 years of age inclusive, of assorted voices and sizes, whom she made sing standing, drawn up in a line, side by side, according to age, from the smallest to the largest. This presented to the eye something in the nature of a reed pipe of young girls, a sort of living panpipe made of angels. Those of the lay sisters whom the scholars loved most were Sister Euphrasie, Sister Sainte Marguerite, Sister Sainte Marthe, who was in her dotage, and Sister Saint Michel, whose long nose made them laugh. All these women were gentle with the children. The nuns were severe only towards themselves. No fire was lighted except in the school, and the food was choice compared to that in the convent. Moreover, they lavished 1,000 cares on their scholars. Only, when a child passed near a nun and addressed her, the nun never replied. This rule of silence had had this effect, that throughout the whole convent speech had been withdrawn from human creatures and bestowed on inanimate objects. Now it was the church bell which spoke, now it was the gardener's bell, a very sonorous bell placed beside the portress, and which was audible throughout the house, indicated by its varied peals, which formed a sort of acoustic telegraph all the actions of material life which were to be performed and summoned to the parlour, in case of need, such or such an inhabitant of the house. Each person and each thing had its own peal. The prioress had one and one, the sub-prioress one and two. 6-5 announced lessons, so that the pupils never said go to lessons, but to go to 6-5. 4-4 was Madame de Genlis's signal. It was very often heard. C'est le diable à 4. It's the very deuce, said the uncharitable. 10 iron strokes announced a great event. It was the opening of the door of seclusion, a frightful sheet of iron bristling with bolts which only turned on its hinges in the presence of the Archbishop. With the exception of the Archbishop and the gardener, no man entered the convent, as we have already said. The schoolgirls saw 2 others. One, the chaplain, the Abbé Ban, old and ugly, whom they were permitted to contemplate in the choir through a grating. The other, the drawing-master, Monsieur Ansiot, whom the latter, of which we have perused a few lines, calls Monsieur Ansiot, and describes as a frightful old hunchback. It will be seen that all these men were carefully chosen. Such was this curious house. End of Book 6, Chapter 7. Recording by Andy in Vernon, Scotland. MELYS.WS